I had two questions from the audience, which were given to me backstage. One was, and you've always stressed about the importance of relationships, and that's also being a key to happiness. What about marriage? Apart from, of course, having a complete life, but is the concept of marriage now obsolete?
Yeah. I think in the modern world today, so many youngsters, if I ask them, they just don't want to get married. And the reason why they don't want to get married is twofold. Number one is seeing the failures in the institution of marriage. When you see marriage as a failed institution, you lose the drive to do what others did back then. And probably they're seeing examples which didn't work. And trust me, most all of you have been in a relationship, are married, or not married, are in a relationship, and you all know that nothing's perfect out there. No human being's perfect, right? एक लड़की एक पंडित जी के पास गई और कह रही है मुझे शादी करनी है पंडित जी। ऐसे लड़के को क्या कहते हैं जो खूबसूरत हो, हैंडसम हो, पैसे वाला हो, एजुकेटेड हो, एंटरप्राइजिंग हो, उसमें एक ड्राइव हो, क्या कहते हैं ऐसे लड़के को? पंडित जी ने कहा मन का वहम कहते हैं बेटा ऐसे लड़के को। Because an imagination of the mind. You don't get such people, right? So when we are talking about marriage as a failed institution, if we looked at it with expectation of perfection, you're never going to find that. Now, whether you're in a live-in relationship, you're in a married relationship, whatever the relationship is, I feel every relationship needs commitment. You need commitment to a relationship. And when you say commitment to a relationship, it means going through all the ups and the downs. There are going to be times when we hit the rock bottom. And still we need to keep making that investment to make that relationship work. The exception obviously would be when it comes to a very toxic level. When it comes to such levels of toxicity that it jeopardizes our very existence, we need to move away and move on. But in every other case, I feel it's commitment. And I think commitment means time. If you just spend 6 months and say, oh, we're not meant for each other. Well, 6 months is such a short time to be even able to understand somebody. It takes a little while. It takes a little bit of commitment. It takes a little bit of spending time. And that's when we probably even understand each other. Yeah?
And the last question, Swamiji, was in the hurry and chaos of life, how do you find your center? How do you manage to stay calm, not lose control, especially, as you said, when everyone's stressed and harrowed and running around trying to achieve those various goals?
Sure. Thank you. I was walking at Oxford Street in London once, and I saw a gentleman who was wearing a T-shirt, and the T-shirt said, "Do not disturb," and underneath in large font was written, "Already disturbed." Right. Like, what more are you going to disturb me? So I see that each one of our lives is going to have a stimulus, a trigger, a cause, a reason for disturbance. Will there ever be a single day in our life that there's no stimulus for being disturbed? The stimulus could be of a massive magnitude or a smaller one. But there is always going to be something that ruins our peace, that ruins our day, that ruins our state of calm, that affects our mental health in severely negative ways. What do we do to find that peace and that calm? 3 things. Right. I think there's 3 things that we should look at. Number one, we should be looking at what are those things that are within our control. It's what we feed that grows stronger. If I feed my anxiety, it grows stronger. If I feed my peace, it goes stronger. Whatever you feed is going to grow stronger. And how do I feed my anxieties? By constantly focusing on things that are not in my control. Things outside. You know, when it comes to the global economic turmoil today, I can do what I can do, but there are factors just completely beyond my control. Individuals at workplace and personal relationships, can you change their natures? No, they're outside of my control. Rather shifting our attention to things that I can do. To feed that means to find that center. Number 2 is to use all your strength to deal with your issues. There was a man and his daughter, 7-year-old, they were walking on the street and there was a massive tree just fallen on their path. And the little girl said, "Can I move this tree, Dad?" He said, "Of course, if you use all your strength." She tried, she couldn't. She turned to her father, said, use all your strength. She tried, she couldn't. He said, use all your strength. She still couldn't. She said, Dad, I'm using all my strength. The man said, darling, you're not using all your strength. You're only using your strength. I'm your strength too. Right? So if you're only using your own strength, you're going to be in a pace of disturbance. We need help. We need connections. We need those people who can help us push what we're going through together. And that's when we can come into a space of calm. And the last one, of course, we all need to find that connection, that spiritual connection, that inner connection, which can kind of every single day, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, can help us just enter into that inner space, disconnected from the world of stimulation. That is the way to stay centered and peaceful in a chaotic world.